It is a great year to be a fan of the MCU with all of the new releases we got in 2021 because we had nothing in 2020, but this year we got 9 new things. That was 5 shows and 4 new movies, and it is time to stop and rank all 9 MCU content we got this year. At number 9, my least favourite MCU project of the year is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I, for a really long time, was really adamant that my opinion of this show is that I hate it. When I actually stop and think about it, there are some aspects that I really did like, and so I did like the new introduction of John Walker at the end of episode 4 and beginning of episode 5. He was a great character. They give him his redemption way too quickly. Yes, I did like that moment in the final episode, but then it just felt like it came way too quickly, and like his forgiveness was like forgiven way too quickly. And I did really like Sam becoming Captain America, and when I actually thought about it, I was like, hang on a second. Sam as Captain America is a way better choice than Steve as Captain America. And yes, I do absolutely love Chris Evans as Steve Rogers as Captain America. He's probably one of my favourite MCU characters. But when I actually think about it, Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson as Captain America is a way better choice, especially now in like the modern day, because he's a modern guy. He's the voice of the people. He can represent a lot of people, and he just seems a way better fit for Captain America now. And so I really did like those 2 characters, but then everything else with Bucky, they gave him like his moment, but that was really it. He had like a 5-minute moment at the beginning of like episode 5 or 6 or something. I can't remember where it happened. He had his moment, but nothing else happened with him, and it was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Everything with the Flag Smashers was absolutely terrible. Everything with Sharon, why? Zemo was a really great addition, seeing him again, and he's became like one of my favourite like villains after that because he was just really funny. But I do really like how they changed like the title sequence in the last episode from Falcon and Winter Soldier to Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and it is confirmed there's going to be a Captain America 4 movie, and so we have that to look forward to. Next at number 8 is What If, and this is a really hard show to rank because all the episodes like don't lead on other than the last 2 episodes where they are like part 1, part 2, and then they bring all the characters, like all the stories from these other episodes into the final 2. So I really did like how it tied it up there. Some episodes were wasted, like episode 7, What If 4 were a pie 4 or something like that. Like that is wasted potential, but all these other like what if possibilities, they were really cool. Episode 5, Zombies, being my favourite, and I am really excited to watch the new Zombies show whenever we're gonna get that. And I am really excited for season 2 of What If, what other potential variations of these characters that we love, that we know and love, but they're slightly twisted, and so I'm excited to see what else they can do if they're going to bring these in again, and if we get those variants in live action, because we are getting Evil Strange, Evil Supreme. Can't wait to see him in the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, What If was okay. I actually really liked the animation though. That really did stand out for me, and Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher was pretty cool. At number 7 is Loki, and I know it seems like I'm literally just doing all the shows and then the movies, but I promise I'm not. And this show had so much potential in the beginning. Episode 1, episode 2 were absolutely solid. Episode 3 kind of slowed down. Episode 4 solid again. Episode 5 a little better than episode 3 but slowed it down again, and episode 6 was kind of just like mid-tier. But this introduced a new character, Mobius, played by Owen Wilson, and he is the absolute standout from this show. I absolutely loved him. I never thought I would see Owen Wilson in the MCU, but now that I have, I need to see so much more of him. I'm excited for season 2 of Loki. I can't wait to see him again. Can he finally get his jet ski? And then the introduction of Sylvie, a lady variant of Loki. She was really great in the beginning, but I hated what they did with her in the end. They made like a relationship between her and Loki, like that's a bit like incest, kind of. So I really didn't like that. And then when she like betrayed Loki as well and opened up this multiverse, it's pretty like shit how you just introduce this new character in this show but you make her open up the multiverse, not like be Loki or something else. And then Kang, it was great that all our predictions like paid off, that Kang was going to be in this show, and yes, he does seem like a really cool character. He's going to be really fun later in the MCU, but I feel like he was just okay in the final episode. Like, it didn't do much, and this show overall was a lot of talking, which I did like compared to like less action. But when there was action, it was really great, especially when they met the timekeepers in episode 4. And I also need to say that Judge Renslayer is another standout for me. I think Mobius and her are my favourite characters from this show, and that being said, it's the Loki show, and Loki himself, Tom Hiddleston, didn't stand out for me. I feel like he was a little bit wasted in his own show, overshadowed at times, but that's okay because we're getting these new characters who are pretty cool, but I am still excited for season 2. At number 6 is Eternals, an unpopular opinion again, if it is that unpopular. I really like this movie. I thought it was great. They introduced 10 plus new characters to us, and I felt like their introduction was okay because we got to know all of these characters on like a surface level, some a little bit bit deeper, and I thought that was great. I didn't have to wait 10 movies to be introduced to each single character. And I really liked all like the Eternals' interactions with each other, like how it felt like really much like a family, friendship, sibling dynamic between them all. Some of them are lovers, some of them aren't, some of them are just best friends, and you really have like little groupings in this. So Jurek and Drakari, I loved them. You had Gilgamesh and Thena, I loved them too. And it's just, you have these little pairings in the Eternals, which I just really loved. New ships in the MCU. But the movie itself, I thought it was just a fine movie. Like, I thought it was good. I didn't think it was bad. The visuals were absolutely stunning. The CGI, because it is kind of CGI, like really heavy CGI, because these characters have like a lot of like pew pew, and so it is like you're gonna get these visual effects, and I really did like it. I thought it was really great. I thought each individual character had a little bit of growth, some of them more than others, and I thought that was really great. But yeah, I just really did like this, and I feel like they just put in so many great actors as well, and so I did really like Eternals. I can't wait to watch Eternals 2. The post-end credit scenes, okay, Harry Styles in the MCU. Yeah, but I just really did like this movie, and I can't wait to see what else they're gonna do. And at number 5 is Black Widow, and I actually really loved this movie. I'm so happy that Scarlett Johansson, that Black Widow finally got her solo movie. But this movie in general, yes, I agree with all the criticism that the villain, Taskmaster, though isn't like the actual villain, was kind of underutilized, because I believe in the comics he is supposed to be this like crazy, powerful, really cool villain, but in the movie she is not. But I did really like what they did with her character. I really love all the newcomers in this, and yes, at times it does feel like the newcomers, Florence Pugh playing Yelena and David Harbour playing Alexei, kind of overshadow Scarlett Johansson's Nat, because I love them so much, and I love all the family dynamic in this. And this did feel like a really small like family spy movie, and so I really did like that aspect, and it is so bloody funny. I feel like Black Widow is one of the most rewatchable MCU movies, at least in my opinion, because it's just so funny, and it is kind of like a smaller personal story to Black Widow, and so I did really like it, and I love everything they set up with Yelena's character for the future of the MCU. And that leads perfectly into my number 4, which is Hawkeye. Originally I wasn't that excited for this show, but then when I saw the trailer and that it was set at Christmas, I got more excited, and then when I found out that Haley Steinfeld was playing Kate Bishop, I got more excited, and then when I found out that Yelena shows up in this show, I got even more excited. And that being said, by the end of this show I was so excited for Clint's character, and it's so sad that this could be our last time seeing him, because this show really made me care about him. I was always sad that him and Nat was kind of sidelined in the other movies, because they're one of the OG Avengers, yet they haven't really had anything to show off their potential, to show off their characters. But we finally got that with the movie Black Widow and with the show Hawkeye, and so I love that they got their moment. I absolutely love the dynamic between Clint and Kate. I really want to see their duo more, but then I feel like we did get a better duo between Kate and Yelena. You can't tell me they're not funny together. You can't tell me they're one of the best like friendships. I hope they're going to be a friendship in the end. You can't tell me they're not the best of friends, like the best buddy relationship in the whole of the entire MCU. And yeah, I just really loved them. I really loved this show, how it was more like ground level, street fighting, street crime. I did like how this was more of a personal ground level story, introduced some really great characters. Can't wait to see Kingpin again, same guy who plays him in Daredevil, and yeah, this show had a lot of potential and really paid off for me. I really did enjoy it. I loved every episode. There was not a bad episode, and I feel like this, as well as like Black Widow, is going to be something really rewatchable in the MCU, and so that's why it is number 4. And before I get to my top 3, if you like this video, please do a like and subscribe for more. I'll have more end of the year rankings. Will one of these movies make it into my top 10 favourite movies of the year? You'll have to wait and find out. And comment down below your ranking of MCU content this year, or just your favourite show or your favourite movie. But in at number 3, and for a long time this was like my favourite thing of the year, it is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I went into this movie with absolutely no expectations. I didn't even think I watched the trailer for this movie, but my sister was like, you're gonna like it, I really like it, you may like it, and I came out absolutely loving it. I already said that Kate and Yelena are one of the best like buddy friendships in the MCU, but Shang-Chi and KE are one of the best buddy relationships as well. After that movie they became my favourite, but now they're really like rivaling Kate and Yelena, because I love them. I absolutely love them. Awkwafina's in this, another person who I didn't expect to be in the MCU, but now that she is, I need so much more of her, so I can't wait for Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings 2. And my favourite thing in like MCU movies or superhero movies in general is where the hero has like a personal relationship with the villain, and so the villain in this is his dad, the Mandarin, and it's great that they corrected their errors in Iron Man 3, and he actually comes back again, Trevor. So funny in this. But yeah, I just really love when the villain and the hero have an attachment where it feels personal, and like a son fighting off with his dad is crazy because you have that emotional weight to it. This movie was like a really personal story to the characters. It's all about like the upbringing of like the son and daughter with the dad and mum, the relationships between dad and son, dad and daughter. It felt personal to the characters, and so it felt personal to me. And towards the end, this is probably one of the best like final fight scenes of an MCU movie, because some of them can just be so like bad, but this one I actually really did like it, because like, yes, there is like a massive dragon that comes out of nowhere, and so you do have like that kind of like heavy CGI stuff, but the fight between Shang-Chi and the Mandarin and his dad, like whew, with the 10 rings, it looked pretty cool, and I just really liked it. Katie had kind of like a hero moment, really loved that. The humour in this, especially from like Awkwafina, but every single character really brings the humour, and I just really love it. It's just such a great movie, honestly. And I also want to praise Simu Liu. He was such a great addition to the MCU, and when you love like the actor, you love the character even more, and so he was a perfect casting choice. But at number 2 is WandaVision. WandaVision. And considering this movie came out right at the beginning of this year, and it's still one of my favourites at the end, I loved this show. It was so unexpected. I had absolutely like no idea what the show was going into it. I just knew that it was Wanda and Vision. I didn't really know anything, any storyline, how it looks, anything. And so when I watched the first episode, and I was like, hang on, what's going on? Watched the second one, still a little bit confused, and by the third episode I was like, oh, I see what you're doing now. And I just really loved it, because I already really liked Wanda as a character from Age of Ultron. Unpopular opinion, Age of Ultron is probably one of my top 10, top 5 MCU movies, and so I really did like her character. And Vision, like I thought he was okay, but in this show it really made me love Paul Bettany as Vision. He was just so funny, and I just loved everything they did with this show, going through different like sitcom eras. I absolutely loved it, and what they really did for Wanda's character, her dealing with her grief, because whenever I think about Wanda I do get a little bit sad, and yes, that is probably sad, me having an attachment to a fictional character, but everything she's gone through is really sad. She lost her husband multiple times, she lost her kids, and so they just have a lot of like one-liners that really hit you, and it's just such a really nice emotional story between Wanda's character and Vision. And they bring in Kathryn Hahn into the MCU. Again, another person who I never expected to be in the MCU. Kathryn Hahn, you bring her in as the villain, as Agnes, then as Agatha Harkness. It's been Agatha all along. And I absolutely love her. Pretty sure she gets her own show, Agatha Harkness, and so I need that right away. But she's like one of my favourite like comedy actors. I just love her, and so her in this was great. All of her interactions with Wanda was absolutely great. Elizabeth Olsen brought everything. She has to be one of my favourite MCU actors, because she was absolutely amazing in this show. And yes, I get everyone's criticism. She held a whole town hostage. She was grieving, okay, she wasn't in the best state, and so yeah, she did apologise. She really like dealt with it as well, as much as they did. But yeah, I just overall really loved this show, and it was going to be my number 1, but then bloody Spider-Man No Way Home came out, and that is my number 1 most favourite best movie, MCU movie of the year, MCU project of the year. And that is because this movie took everything great from each individual Spider-Man movie and put it into one movie, and it just became my most favourite Spider-Man movie, as well as my most favourite 2021 movie. And yes, now I believe it has to be in my top 5 MCU movies, and I just loved this movie. Man, oh man, it made me cry. And when a movie makes you cry, not just from like the sad parts, but from the happy parts, you know you really love this movie. And so I was just smiling, laughing, crying, gasping throughout this whole movie. Each time I watched it, I've watched it twice now, and I think me and my sister are gonna watch it again. And I just absolutely loved this movie, because it just brought all the emotions. It brought so much for Spider-Man, for Peter's character. And finally I'm actually thinking twice about a Spider-Man movie, because the rest of Tom Holland's movies did absolutely nothing for me. I thought they were just fun movies. They were okay, they were good, didn't give them a second thought. But this movie, I haven't stopped thinking about it. They just really took Peter's character from like a helpless boy getting all the help from Tony Stark to, again, helpless boy, but now he's on his own, becoming Spider-Man, not Spider-Boy. He's becoming the Spider-Man, the one like we all wanted him to be. He's become it, and Tom Holland's acting in this was top notch. Honestly, I thought his best acting performance was him in The Impossible, but now him in Spider-Man No Way Home, I think this has to be his best performance, because he was absolutely amazing in this. He made me cry so much. Everyone was so great. All of the new villains. I really need to talk about Green Goblin and Willem Dafoe, because he was absolutely incredible. He took his performance from Spider-Man 2 up to like 100, 1000, 1 million in this movie, because he was actually amazing. He was so good. And now I can't wait for Tom Holland's Spider-Man's next trilogy. And I didn't talk about Tobey and Andrew, but of course they're great. You can see all of my Spider-Man thoughts up here on all the movies, rankings, everything, all that up here. I love Spider-Man No Way Home, and I loved all the MCU content this year, but coming in at number 1 is Spider-Man No Way Home. Taking my heart, destroying it, same as WandaVision did, where it took my heart and destroyed it. But I'm happy that one of the movies that made it into top 3, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, didn't destroy my heart. It made me love Marvel again. It made me love the MCU. And that is my ranking of all MCU projects we got this year, from the shows to the movies. Comment down below what your favourite show or movie is, or your ranking of all 9 of them. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Like I said, I'll have other rankings to finish off the year, whether that be my most disappointing movies of the year or my favourite movies of the year, so you're going to want to stick around for that. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye!